So Darren Waller was on the Rich Eisen show. Side note, Rich Eisen, probably the biggest Raider fan in media, in like big mainstream media, like NBC. Yeah. Always gives the Raiders love.
And it's weird.
And we love him back. Yeah.
Should be a Lions guy, but he loves the Raiders.
He sees quality when he knows quality when he sees it. So when Darren Waller was on the Rich Eisen show, talked about a bunch of things. Talked about Davante Adams and the offense and stuff like that. But Eisen asked him how Josh McDaniels plans on moving Waller around, which is an interesting question because it's a very specific question, but Eisen's a veteran interviewer. This is what is his answer to his question. Rich Eisen's like, where is Josh McDaniels going to move you around and how is he going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's really everywhere. I got to be on the P's and Q's as far as the book is concerned because it's inside, outside, single, by yourself, in a trips formation. So it's like pretty much everywhere. I'm excited about the challenge that it presents because, it makes it harder for people to really know where you're going to be at.
So he's diversifying your game in a way that it has not been in your tenure there in Vegas. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're bringing new things to the table for sure. I've done a lot of things under Coach Gruden, and I feel like that's been very helpful. And they're asking us to do even more things, so it's just adding more to the bag and gives us more opportunities to get open when defenses are going to be looking for you.
Notice how he didn't take the bait. Eisen's like, oh, so he's utilizing you in ways that you haven't been utilized before in the NFL, knowing he's only really had one head coach.
Yeah.
And Waller didn't take the bait. Waller's too good of a guy. He's like, no, Gruden made me really good and made me do a lot of stuff, and then McDaniels is going to add more stuff to it.
Yeah. Because we've seen it before. We've seen him do it. Gronk is a special player. He's a special athlete and a special player. He was put in positions to make plays like he did because of the offense of Josh McDaniels. So he's going to do that. That's just his offense. You saw last year they had Smith and Hunter Henry, and he moved them around all over the place, and neither one of those guys could touch Waller skill-wise. Mm-hmm. And they had decent seasons. So, I mean, I really do think that what did I say a lot of times? Dude, if you need to get a first down, if you need to get something, why don't you just put Trips on one side, Waller by himself on the other, and have him go one-on-one? Because you can't double him in that instance. Like, you have to go one-on-one with Darren Waller and either a slower DB or, a smaller DB or a slower linebacker. Like, he's gonna do that a lot. They did it with Gronk.
5'7" corner covering Darren Waller.
They did that with Gronk, and Gronk is not nearly as fast as Waller is.
So that's the question, is like as much as like, and Jon Gruden obviously took a lot of crap and had his deficiencies, but he deserves credit where credit's due, finding Darren Waller and helping make him a superstar, right? Like that was under Gruden's watch where that happened, and credit to him.
And he really solidified his move to tight end too. He was still kind of that tweener wide receiver tight end kind of guy when he was with the Ravens, because he was in their practice team and just kind of doing whatever, doing wide receiver stuff and tight end. Like he just said, no, you're a fucking tight end.
And then, so this is the question: did Gruden underutilize Darren Waller? Because we know that Jon Gruden has his offense, his style, and you cater to him. Like, this is my cookie cutter. You're going to be the dough, and we're going to use this. That's it. Josh McDaniels is opposite. Like, we're going to change based on the defense and the team that we're playing, and we're going to change based on our personnel. Now he has what he wants, right? He wants certain types of players, obviously. Like, he likes certain types of players, but generally he knows how to scheme to play to their strengths.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Darren Waller's best days are ahead of him under Josh McDaniels, even though now he's going to be sharing snaps with Davante Adams, and now that everyone knows Hunter Renfro's a Pro Bowler.
I think that, yes, Gruden did not use Waller to his full capabilities, especially in the red zone. What have we said? What did I just say? Get him isolated out wide. How often did they do that? How often? It's like, okay, well, I don't have a play that does that. Who gives a shit? Draw it on your fucking hand and say, this is what you guys got to do right now. And Gruden
take one of those bar napkins at Hooters, grab a pen from one of the chicks with double D's,
Outback,
and make it happen.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like Gruden doesn't do that. It's like, okay, well, this is the closest thing that I have in my playbook to doing what you're asking me to do. This is the closest thing that I have.
As much as Jon Gruden, I think Darren Waller was absolutely correct in when he answered Eisen's question of, yeah, I think they're going to maximize me and do different things with me. I did a lot of great things under Jon Gruden, and I think they're just going to add on top of that. I think Gruden did a good job of kind of building the fundamentals of Darren Waller and kind of like positioning him to succeed in general. And then Josh McDaniels is the one that kind of like rounds out the edges nicely, like gives the fine, minute details, you know, not broaden the playbook because Gruden had a pretty big playbook, just not in the red zone, which is kind of like detailing the fundamentals that Gruden instilled in Waller.
Broadening his responsibilities, I think, is what it's going to happen now. Because Gruden does have a big playbook, but how many different routes did Waller actually run? It was, you know, the same route, just different from different areas. It's lined up a little bit different, but honestly, it's the same shit. You know, I think it's going to be a lot different.
It was a lot of choice routes too, where it's kind of like, all right, like you're running one of 3 routes based on what the defense is giving you, right? Which is technically it's the same route, but you're playing against the defense, right? Which is the same as Josh McDaniels, right? Like Josh McDaniels has a lot of choice routes, which is why I think Waller and Renfrow are just going to freaking flourish under a system, not just because slot receivers and tight ends do well under Josh McDaniels, but very specifically, Renfrow and Waller are very smart and very good at choice routes.
Mm-hmm. I also think that running all those choice routes is going to help on a very, like one of the favorite plays that that Gronk and Brady ran in New England was Gronk running that wheel route.
Yep.
And if you have a faster, quicker Waller running that route, it was set up beautifully too. It was set up with the outs and then a slant on top of it. So it's like, okay, they're clearing out for him to go into the flat. And he figured just, you know, Gronk turned up and was able to get huge chunks of yardage. So I see those concepts being brought over, and I don't know the last time I saw Waller run a wheel route.
It's been a while.
A little while.
I remember him getting a touchdown on one, which only like proves your point more. It's like, yeah, when he rarely did, it was massively successful.
Yeah, massively successful because he's just such a super athlete, you know.
Yeah.
And you set it up properly with you know the route concept. Okay, yeah, it's gonna work.
Congratulations for making it all the way to the end of our video. If you want Darren Waller to catch 20 touchdown passes next season and for Max Crosby to have 30 sacks, go ahead and subscribe and click the next video.